Spawn, Shadowhawk, Max, Clown 2, Exoskeleton. All new, all action, all yours from the world of Spawn. Each sold separately. Welcome to my world.
Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another edition of Throwback Thursdays. I believe we are on number 29 now, so we are racking up Throwback Thursdays, to say the very least. But today, getting back to Spawn Series 4, today we are taking a look at Cy-Gor 1. I believe there was a Cy-Gor 2. Yes, there was. I do have him somewhere, and I think I actually sent one to my buddy Brian Starner. Shout out to good old Toy Nuts, aka Strudelman, as always. And then there were a couple more. I don't think there was a Cy-Gor 3, but there was that anime-looking one from, what is it, the new Spawn Adventures, which, kind of funny, new Batman Adventures, new Spawn Adventures, sensing a pattern there. And then there was the more Staction-like Cy-Gor that came packaged with another Spawn figure. They were kind of falling in the air. I did have those at one point, but I got rid of them because I didn't have the base. Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have kept those, but whatever. We are getting a new Cy-Gor, though, from McFarlane Toys' Spawn Universe line, albeit I'm a bit questionable about McFarlane's QC as of late. That, or I'm just having the worst luck on the planet with their stuff, but at the end of the day, customer service should actually do their job, too, right? But that's another story for another day. Getting back to Cy-Gor, though, is he another Mafia creation? Because it seems like they got nothing better to do but screw with Al Simmons, who is already kind of undead and kind of unkillable. So what the heck is their deal? I know Tremor and Overkill were Mafia creations as well, but where the heck do they get the budget to make these mutant Hulk-sized cyborgs loaded to the teeth with all kinds of artillery, like more than Marvel's War Machine? They're not David Xanatos from Gargoyles rich, but I also don't understand the full potential of the Mafia, so maybe that's what it is. I just don't know what they're capable of, and I hope I don't know what they're capable of, because that's not a group of individuals your boy particularly wants to piss off. Not on the to-do list, to say the very least. But is Cy-Gor another Mafia creation? Because seriously, get a hobby, man. Quit messing with Al Simmons. You can't kill him. He's already dead. With that out of the way, Cy-Gor here, not the best figure, I'll say, from the old Spawn line. He's cool. I'd say he's definitely more like the first couple of waves. As far as like the paint and stuff goes, he definitely fits in with them. But he's just kind of small. He's very, very small. And considering we got like Malboja and all the Violators and stuff at this point, he could have been a little better. I think they could have made him more deluxe or something. I don't know, but he just seems kind of lacking. That said, as far as articulation goes, his head will move up. And it is on a rotation joint, but you're not going to get a ton out of that. But you can slide it down and have him look forward, naturally, or look up, and you can almost have him on all fours. It's kind of tricky to do that with these arms and this leg, not really wanting to. Okay, there we go. I mean, there he is on all fours. It's pretty half-assed, dude. I think his head could have looked up more and his hips could have had more range. It would have looked a little better. I know it's an old toy, but come on. It's been done before, I think, right? That said, I display mine standing up. I think he looks cooler that way. He does also have a rotation in the shoulders. Works fine. He's got a swivel in the bicep. Only on this side. This side, he's just got this big ugly seam going down his arm, which I have the albino version of this figure. Shout out to my buddy Dr. Twisted's Realm for that. It was in our first trade box, I believe. And on that version, this arm is kind of cracked just slightly. It's just the glue wearing out, but be careful with that. You don't want to break anything. But he does have a bicep swivel on this side, and then he does have a wrist swivel as well. Nothing in the waist, I don't think. No, there's definitely nothing going on there. And then he has forward and back in the hip, and that's it. You can, however, take these little armor plates off on both the hip. You can see his exposed, Terminator monkey leg, which looks cool. There is no articulation in that. I think that would have been kind of cool, but that's asking for a lot, considering this piece already does come off and gives you a better look at the robotics underneath. I think that in and of itself is pretty cool. It's almost like Operation, but with a giant robot monkey. What more could you possibly ask for? And then this piece on the wrist here also can come off as well. And that one's a little harder to get back on, so I may actually have to cut and actually see what I'm doing here, because, yeah, it's not the easiest part to get back on. So we'll just set it on there for now. But that said, he does also have... I'll just leave it off. But that said, he does also have this missile over here, which stores in this little clip. And you could put that in the cannon on his shoulder. And it doesn't have a miss button, but you can kind of pull it back and let it go. And lose it. Oh, there we go. But, yeah, not the best missile firing gimmick, I'll say. Especially not for the time, but it's whatever. It's serviceable, I guess. Well, let's see if we can't figure out how to get this arm piece back on. Not too sure where the peg holes for that are, though. I think there's one right there. Which, just look at this armor plate. It's like unnecessarily got this giant blade on the outside. That's so 90s. It's ridiculous, dude. It's like, I just got a blade just cuz, That's all that's saying. Yeah, this is kind of a pain in the neck. Getting this piece back on. I probably shouldn't have took it off in the first place. Yeah, it doesn't really... There's no real good way to get this back on, is there? Well, you know what? It's just going to sit there for right now. I'll put it on before we transition to comparisons. But with that being said, it's actually time to do that now. But before I do that, a quick story time. Who doesn't love story time? Good old Eric Treadway of Four Horsemen Design. Shout out to Four Horsemen, as usual. They are a very big part of this channel. Even now. They worked on this figure. He talked about how he had like a case of these, and I think he donated to a Toys for Tots type thing. And at the time, this Cy-Gor was going for like a crap load of money on the secondary market. Now you could probably pick this guy up carded for like $5-10. I know I didn't pay more than like $5-10 for it, so what does that tell you? Tells you the market fluctuates and you shouldn't place value on things because you never know when it's going to go unless it's Mythic Legions, then it just kind of stays where it's at. But at any rate, with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. And after getting that pesky armor plate on, shocker, I was trying to do it from the wrong angle. Wouldn't be the first time because I literally can't see 2 feet in front of me, but I digress. Here is Cy-Gor next to our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibulus, and the Element Spawn, and just see how far action figures have come since, like, oh, geez, almost 30 years ago now. That's kind of scary, right? Right? Are you feeling old yet? You will all die soon. Either way, Cy-Gor here, definitely out of scale. Nowadays, I'm curious if we'll get like a more kid-oriented Spawn line like the Batman 66 stuff, because I was actually just talking to the old man, aka Mr. Brian, about that earlier because there is a Riddler and an Unmasked Batman out for those at good old Target right now. So I'm curious if we might get a Spawn line like that, kind of more reminiscent of this 90s stuff. I would be all for that. That'd be kind of cool, so long as the quality was up to par. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with my old Spawn collection, as chintzy as it can be. It's just nice to have the original 8 waves almost complete now. Your boy's got quite the vintage Spawn collection, which I hope to one day review all of on these Throwback Thursday videos. But that being said, Spawn, of course, is taller. I mean, no arguments there. But with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while Cy-Gor is one of my favorite Spawn villains of all time, this figure does not represent him very well at all, at least not nowadays. I think Cy-Gor 2, while it is still a much older figure and still quite naive as far as the articulation goes, the sculpt and paint on that thing is leaps and bounds better than this guy right here. And really the only competition for the new Cy-Gor that McFarlane's putting out this year, which, let's be honest, without the naivete of this Cy-Gor right here, we may not have that new Cy-Gor that's coming out this year, which I'll take it, I guess, because this one didn't cost me much, and the new one looks so freaking cool. Hopefully it omits all the issues I had with this one. Hopefully you can get them on all fours and make it look natural. It's a shame that this shoulder pauldron here doesn't rotate along with the arm, because then you could at least have the cannon pointed up to shoot the missile while he's still on all fours. But alas, you can't even do that. So this guy is just a superly hindered figure. But at the end of the day, I love him even though he is, now, chintzy crap. So with that being said, if you want a Cy-Gor, wait for that new one or get Cy-Gor 2. I think those are the best two on the market. The one that's more of a staction where he's falling in the air, that one's awesome too, but you can't really do a whole lot with that one because of how it's made. So really, you don't have many options for a really solid Cy-Gor figure. So I would just hold off, get the new one, or get Cy-Gor 2 if you're on a budget. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Throwback Thursdays. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel. Got plenty coming your way before we switch to the new format, which will be 5 videos a week with Flashback Friday instead of 4 more recent releases a week and a Throwback Thursday. So there you go. But if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.